What is up, everybody? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Been a little while since we've had one in from Tacknives. I really like the brand, so we're going to jump into their latest model. Let's get it. All right, guys, we have the Tackcom Intruder here, and there is a lot to take in. First, I really like the kind of pinned or pinged pattern that they have going on the titanium. Looks like they took like a hammer and just kind of did a bunch of little dimpling, and it looks really good in person. I hope that it does convey well on camera for you as well. Yeah, looks really good. Really good in person. I also like this dark wash that they have going on. Geared back spacer with a spot for a lanyard. Good job on the pocket clip here. This has plenty of good entrance and it does clear. It goes all the way with enough flexibility for you to be able to get on with tight retention so it's not going to fall out of the pocket. So I like that a lot. No interference with the lock bar. Good job there. You do have multiple means of deployment. So you have the opening hole or fuller if you want to come all the way down. The hole is plenty here. You have removable thumb stud and you have good tight jimping with the front flipper, although I would have liked them to go ahead and just take it up two more just to have it all the way to the top. But having said that, they did a good job dialing this D10 in. Sheep's foot blade with almost like a reverse Tonto tip here. Magna cut steel, heat treated at 62 to 64 HRC by Best Tech. So good job on the HRC. That's an excellent heat treat for production Magna cut. The action on here is super smooth, locked up solid. All right, so this pivot looks a little big, and yeah, T10 pivot, and the rest of the hardware is T8, including your stop pin button on there. So I like that. Good to see that. Nice and centered. It does kind of swallow in there due to the type of tip that they put on there. And I love the wrapped backspacer. I think that's a nice touch. Very smooth. A little hard to, oh wow, good sounds to this too. Ooh, I don't know if that'll come through. Oh, almost got a ting. Almost got a ting. It's almost got a ting to it. All right, that's enough flipping. That's enough flipping. Excellent ergos on here, man. It is super comfortable with the contouring, the wash, and the stoning. It's very nice. I love this. It's almost like a faux lock bar show side here, kind of like to match what you have over here with this one. But the lock bar insert's actually really far in there. So I like that they went with that unique little design cue. No, design language, maybe that's what I'm looking for. Very thin hollow ground. This thing is super sharp, man. It's just, it nestles into the hand. I like that a lot. Very comfortable. Great action on this one. You guys want to check out a couple of size comparison knives? I think this is a good EDC carry. All right, so we have my Berg Blades Alpha as the large full-size knife comparison, and then more of your medium-size comparison is going to be your Raven. Now, the Raven actually is a little deceptive because it kind of has a full four-finger grip from the choil position with a little bit of a choke up if you need it. I actually never really use that. I kind of stay back here. So it does have this little landing pad on here, which is good for like trigger pull, and you can choke up for some detailed work, but like the spot here, I still think it's kind of comparable, the Intruder is, to the Raven in this particular instance. Doesn't feel super heavy either. Let's grab the scale and check the weight on this one. All right, we got the scale out. Let's cut her on. I'm thinking this is probably like a 4-ounce knife or less. Yeah. 4.1, not bad, right? The backspacer probably is where a lot of the weight from the handle is coming, because if you looked inside this one, it is pocketed for relief on top of being contoured. And usually when you contour a scale, you're knocking some of the weight down on it. So I feel like 4 ounces is a really good weight for this one. Let's go ahead and wrap up with final thoughts and impressions. All right, so my final thoughts and impressions on the Intruder are going to be on a scale of 1 to 10 that I use to grade these. I take into account the fit and finish, the aesthetics, the performance, ergos, and money for value. And this being a Best Tech OE, and the price that they're asking for it on top of my discount code working for this particular one, it's actually an exceptional buy. Usually Best Techs are $330 to $380 depending on the designer and what is being done with that particular knife. So this is exceptional value for money. Not a lot of money being made here. He's trying to get this in as many hands as possible with this design, this model, with the steel and everything on it. I'm really excited by that. Having said all of that, I'm actually going to go 8.8 on this one. I really like it a lot. It is an excellent knife. I think the only thing that could probably make it even better is if it were reversible for lefties. But I do know that that does affect the fact when you try to reverse flick this one, you got to come down onto the pocket clip. But thumb stud deployment, I feel like for lefties is going to work well, or maybe there's a lefty version out there. So I do think that that would be something to take into consideration. The other thing too, I will say is I wonder if it could have put like a little bit more length on the blade and shortened the backspacer a little bit. It's not an awful blade to handle ratio, but I think just like a little more length out here on it. I don't mind the reverse Tonto look, but just a little bit, like kick it up a little bit more and bring the tip and this part out a little bit and soften the edge here to kind of make it look like the rest of the knife. You see how these are kind of not as sharp of edges here? I think that would look really good. Now, if you see it from here, it almost matches the line, but it's actually a little bit of a sharper drop. So like I would say carve out a little bit more out of the backspacer and bring that tip out closer, especially since the backspacer is going to protect anyone from actually being able to touch that tip. So just a few little minor suggestions. I'm not a designer, I have not designed one, but just something that I observed while seeing it. I love the fact that you can remove the thumb studs, but I actually like the thumb studs that are on there. Good jimping, except I would like to see 1 or 2 more jumps up here at the top. It doesn't affect anything with where they did the stop pin location, which they did a great job on. Plunge grab on here is really, really good. You're going to get a lot of sharpening out of here. Hologrind is good. The dark wash on here looks really good. Good access to that lock bar. Really not a lot to complain about with this one, but I would be curious to hear what you guys think about the Intruder down in the comments below. Again, links help the channel, discount code for you if you use my link. And if you're not subscribed, definitely consider subscribing. A lot of my viewers are not subscribed, and those subscriptions really help the channel. If you enjoyed the video, a like helps with the algorithm. Special shout out and thanks to my channel members. Love you guys. That's it for me today. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye.